What a week 4 defense. Hi, everybody. My name's Cthulhu. I'm here to break down week 4 of the United Football League season and preview week 5 of the UFL season. This week was kind of fun. It was a lot of really, really, really good defense, a lot of really good kick returns, and some heartbreaking losses at the very last second. So let's get into it. We had Battlehawks Showboats, which I assumed the Battlehawks would win, and they did. The Showboats, they're just not a very good football team. They're okay. They're not the worst, but they just are not impressing me, really at all. I don't know what it is. They just don't seem to have the grit to handle games of this caliber. It's especially when they're playing against really tough opponents like the Battlehawks or the Brahmas, who they lost in that awful comeback to. They just don't seem cohesive. It doesn't help that their quarterback is just going through it. He seemed to get beat up this game. It's just not going so well for them. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in the Showboats at this moment. The Battlehawks, meanwhile, look sharp. They look very, very, very good. And I'm very impressed with their level of play, especially considering they started the season with a loss. They seem to have just figured it out, and I'm very impressed. McCarron, the quarterback, he's doing some excellent work. I'm impressed by the Battlehawks in general. They're looking really, really sharp. Then you had Brahmas Panthers. The Panthers did everything they could. It was not a good game for them. It didn't help that EJ Perry got hurt and is going to be out for several weeks now. Hurt his hamstring, which is a big problem and could be very deflating for their hopes this season, which is a shame because I had a lot of high hopes for the Panthers. They've been looking really good. They just unlucky, really unlucky. The Brahmas also just look pretty damn good. Not amazing, not perfect by any stretch, but I mean, they're second in the XFL for a reason. I just think they look really, really solid. And the Panthers, I don't know, they've got obviously the best kicker in the league, Jake Bates. Their defense is really solid, but without a good quarterback now, I mean, they're going to try to find a good replacement for EJ Perry, but I'm not holding my breath. And that's a shame, because they've been a really fun team to watch this season, and I hope their whole season doesn't just get flushed out because EJ Perry got hurt. And I hope he's able to recover relatively quickly. Obviously, I don't want him to rush it. But, yeah, I'm bummed for the Panthers and for their fans. I hope, for their sake, that this isn't totally derailing. Then you had Stallions Defenders. The Stallions remain the only undefeated team in the UFL. But, man, it was close. This was their biggest threat to dominance so far. The Defenders stayed in it for a while. At the start of the game, it was very back and forth. It was tight. Then you had a major lightning delay that lasted for over an hour, and it seemed like the Defenders just lost their mojo for a while. They botched a snap on a punt, resulting in a safety. It was not looking great. Earlier in the game, they actually blocked a punt. There were 2 fumbles recovered by defense. They also got a fumble recovery for a touchdown overturned because it turned out the guy had been touched down at like the 5, which is a shame and was super deflating. But they stayed in it. Once it started raining heavily, you could tell that it was not going to be a touchdown kind of game. It was a lot of field goals, a lot of runs. It turned a lot grittier. And with just over a minute to go, the Defenders kicked what could have been the game-winning field goal. But the Stallions are the Stallions, and they found a way. They got there, they kicked the game winner, and that was it. They are a complete team. Both their quarterbacks are excellent. Their special teams is excellent, minus getting the punt blocked, but what can you do? Their defense is excellent. It doesn't seem like there's anything they particularly struggle with. I don't understand it, and I don't know how anyone's going to actually put up a fight against them. I don't know. Now, that's not to say that this was definitely, the Defenders impressed the hell out of me. I want to make that clear. They played a great, great game. They almost won. They almost upset the Stallions. And if I'm being honest, I could very well see these two teams switching at some point in the not too distant future. But the Stallions are the Stallions. They have to be. They're the uncontested best team in the UFL right now. Until someone actually manages to beat them, they got no competition for that spot. And lastly, Arlington. Arlington. We had the two winless teams, the Houston Roughnecks, the Arlington Renegades, going head to head. And the Roughnecks won. The Roughnecks beat the Renegades, which I was not expecting at all. I don't know what to say for the Renegades anymore. I can't defend them anymore. I don't know what to do. They keep looking so solid, and then they keep finding new and even more distressing ways to lose football games. Luis Perez, I see you, and I see that you're trying your best, but man, it's rough out there for you, my friend. That strip sack at the very end of the game to lose the game was brutal. That interception early in the game was brutal. I don't know. And I've been talking mad shit about the Roughnecks for weeks. They looked pretty good. They looked solid. They looked okay. I don't know what's happening. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Like, the Roughnecks looked good. Their defense put up a hell of a show against the Renegades. Their offense, not perfect, but there were some really solid plays in there. Their kicker, we don't have to talk about him, but everything else, they looked okay. They look like they are learning how to play football, which is, a good thing to do when you're a professional football team. But the Renegades, I don't know anymore. I feel like they have to be the worst team in the league. If they can't beat the worst team, they have to be the worst team. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some argument someone can make to me, but I don't understand. They keep looking solid, and they keep being competitive, and they keep losing. I don't get it. Ugh. Anyway, let me rank these teams. I feel terrible about doing this, but I feel like by my own rules, I have to put the Renegades at number 8. And I don't feel good about it. I feel pretty bad about it, in fact. But I mean, that's just how it has to be. I don't know what else to say. Number 7 is the Roughnecks. The Roughnecks show signs of improving this week, but I need to see more. I need to see a lot more, because they were awful the first 3 weeks. I need to see them take down a genuine contender for me to move them any further up. Number 6 is the Showboats. They're not impressing me. They're okay, but they are not anything resembling a contender. They could end up in the playoffs with the Panthers quarterback getting injured, but I think that's less a reflection on how good the Showboats are and more a reflection on how much it's going to hurt the Panthers to lose E.J. Perry. Number 5, the Defenders impressed me so much. I think I'm putting the Panthers at 5, and I hate to do it because I like the Panthers. I think they're a very fun team to watch, but I don't know, especially after losing their quarterback and how badly they lost this week. I just don't know if it's possible for them to make the playoffs at this point even. I hope so. I'd love to see it, but not holding my breath. Number 4 is the Defenders. They have really made me change my tune. They're looking really good. They looked very good against the Stallions. It's one of those where the loss is not nearly as representative of how poorly they played, more so on how well the Stallions played. They looked very respectable while losing that game, and I gotta give them credit for that. Number 3 is the Brahmas. The Brahmas are great. They're a great team. They're not perfect. I want to see them, again, take on a genuine contender, which they did against the Panthers, but I don't know. I really want to see them do some more. At least, to really set them apart from the rest of the pack. Because they did that week 1. Their victory against the Defenders was incredible. But I haven't seen a big flash like that since. And I'd like to see more. Oh, I forgot to mention, the Panthers did have a great fake punt in that game against the Brahmas, and I loved that. I wish they had more flash in the pan like that, Number 2, the Battlehawks. They are looking great. Really, genuinely very great. And I'm so excited about that. I think they have a really good chance of taking the XFL. Will they beat the Stallions in the UFL Championship? Not a clue. I want to see them play a game against the Stallions in the regular season before I assess that. Do I think they have a really good shot of winning the XFL? 100% I do. Number one, though, for 4 weeks running, it's the Birmingham Stallions. I just don't see how anyone has a shot. It's crazy. The Defenders put up the biggest fight of the season. They almost won it, but they still pulled out the win with less than a minute to go in the game. How do you beat that? I don't understand. Anyway, here's my rankings. Beep boop bop. Okay, now let us preview next week's games. The way I'd describe this week, at least looking at it for the most part, is the rich get richer. The Brahmas and the Renegades. Yeah, I'm giving that to the Brahmas, no question. The Renegades are letting me down big time, and I don't know what else to say for them. Stallions roughing. Whoa. Yeah, no, that one's not going to be all that competitive. It's the Stallions. They're going to win. They're going to win and be 5-0. Battlehawks Defenders is these last two are a lot more interesting to me. Battlehawks Defenders is a fun one. I do think the Battlehawks are probably going to win, but I could see the Defenders pull it out. I very well could. I think the Battlehawks have the edge, but I could see the Defenders come out really clutch in the last few minutes and pull out a victory. I'd love to see it. I mean, I wouldn't love to see it for my Battlehawks, but for the Defenders' sake, it'd be really impressive. I'm picking the Battlehawks, but I think it'll be close. And now this last game, before Perry got injured, would have been no question the Panthers were going to win. Now, with Perry injured, Panthers Showboats is interesting. I'm curious to see how the Showboats are going to do. I think the Panthers will I don't know. I honestly don't know, actually. Panthers defense is... I'm picking the Panthers. I'm picking the Panthers to beat the Showboats. But that's another one that I'll have to see how the Panthers operate without Perry before I can really assess. Right now, tentatively picking the Panthers. But that's really all I have to say about this week. Thanks for watching. Hope you all are having a good April. Almost May. If you've liked this video, feel free to give it a like, subscribe, ring the bell to get notifications of when I upload, comment your thoughts on my rankings or my picks for next week, why I'm an idiot or whatever. You can also join my Discord server if you want to tell me directly that I'm an idiot. You can also find my stream schedules there. I just uploaded a new blog post for the first time in like 6 months on my WordPress blog, wavestrange.wordpress.com. It's also in the description. I have an Etsy store where I sell little clay figurines like Pyramid Head here. Yeah, that's about all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Have a good weekend, and go Battlehawks.